Check it out. Here we go. Hey, yo, Eve's Bayou is a black southern melodrama with Gothic tones and forms of precognition. In Eve's Bayou, we bear witness to the unreliability of memory. Ironic, many of us seen it when we was younger, but lacked the ability to accurately say what we saw. Allow me to show you, or maybe even remind you what you forgot about this film, why it's special, and what makes it a classic. Check it out. If you're new to the channel, like and subscribe to become a hood figure. That way, you can recommend what movies I should do next. But check it out. What's it about? Something you don't see very often. A film not about race or ghetto woes, but about a complicated, deeply rooted, affluent black family's secrets. And how the truth looks different depending on the shade of light or point of view you have. In the depths of the south of Louisiana, we're introduced to what some consider a cursed Creole Klan, the Batiste. Descendants of former slaves, now landowners, their family inherited the Bayou and its mysticism. Certain women in the family have the ability of precognition, or as some of us say, the ability to use their third eye, but with the caveat being the inability to foreshadow their own path. Eve is the youngest in this line of women suffering from this ability to help others but not themselves. Like her aunt, she's gifted, and the summer her father is killed, we all learn a secret fact about the truth and one of life's most important lessons. Check it out. Characters. Eve's Bayou is refreshing because it's not trying to duplicate Hollywood's idea of a so-called black movie. Instead of perpetuating racial stereotypes, Eve's Bayou defies them, creating fully fleshed out, well-rounded characters. Eve Batiste, as a 10-year-old, is much like Scout from To Kill a Mockingbird. Innocent, curious, and naive. She's the middle child with a strong connection to her aunt, Mosella Batiste Delacroix. Oh my goodness, I'm messing her name up. Eve's aunt is a psychic medium, a sort of practitioner of the arts by trade. Her ESP grants her sight beyond sight. It's the gift that she calls her curse, probably because it got her in a mental institution before. Roz Batiste, Eve's mother, is icy but poised and perfectly graceful in her demeanor as a fair lady of the South, beautifully smoldering with a fierce intensity, privately hurt and embarrassed by her husband's open secret. Plus, she's a woman raising a teenager, so you know she's stressed. Cicely Batiste, Eve's sister, adores her father and protects him the most. She's 14 and sees her parents growing apart. She blames her mother for her father's distance, wanting nothing more than her father's love. She does whatever it takes to get it. Grand Marie, translated from French, means grandmother. Played by Ethel Eyre, I know her as Heathcliff Huxtable's mother. However, she's the matriarch and mother of Louis and Mosella. She's from that good old generation that kept kids in their place. Louis Batiste, Eve's father, is both a good dad and extremely flawed husband. An adulterous family man who, like many men, want even more when they have enough. His open audacity is abhorrent. He's more dismissive than disrespectful. He's a man engulfed by the trappings of success. Imagine the pressure of maintaining a picture-perfect family, a career, a home with servants, a car, wealth, and an ego, all of which have demands. So Journey Smollett's real brother played her movie brother as Poe Batiste. He's closest to his mother, probably because he's the baby, and technically he's the only other male in the house. Hashtag Uncle Tom. Diane Carroll was the fortune teller, Elzara. Intimidating and spooky. She's who delivers to Roz those cryptic warnings. She's also who reaffirms that the Batiste lineage is cursed. A powerful woman she is, capable of dangerous means. Maddie Monroe is Eve's father's mistress, the town's hussy, trollop, floozy, Jezebel, harlot, or however you said, homewrecker in the late 50s, early 60s. Lenny Monroe is husband of Eve's father's mistress. He's also a good friend of Louis. Lenny teaches us the meaning of keep her name out your mouth. Cursed or coincidence? Him and Louis' fate is going to mirror Hosea and Maynard's. Julian Gray Ravens, Julian Gray Ravens arrives to restore the feeling Eve's aunt is afraid to embrace, unintentionally lifting Mozella's curse. Lifting her curse. Harry, Maynard, Hosea, Patata, all are victims of the Batiste curse, so to say. These are all husbands of Mozella, who met their unfortunate demise too early. Harry died in a car crash. Maynard, Mozella's husband, got killed by Hosea. Hosea, Mozella's side piece, pop dude, and I guess he killed himself after that, or he went to jail for life. Either way, she lost. But check it out. What I see? Besides a prosperous family nestled in a Creole community, it's the early 1960s rural Louisiana. So we naturally hear a smidge of French in their conversations, showing the status and class of well-to-do blacks. Also what's present is how important forces such as voodoo is in the Creole community. Apparently, spiritual forces can influence the physical world to the extent that perhaps the effectiveness of voodoo is equivalent to the power of prayer or even practical medicine. From my understanding, voodoo is a physical manifestation of spirituality, so it may be equal. In their community, definitely is comparable. Voodoo priest, fortune teller, psychic, witch doctor, medicine man, without over or undersimplifying, they're all healers. Which is why we see a parallel in the Batiste siblings. Just a thought. With Eve's story, there's a significance to the generational bonds they share and how each woman supports one another, which is vital because Eve's coming of age is underlined by her father's insolence and by the fact that she set in motion the tragedy of his mortality. Most importantly, the film highlights the point in every child's life when we realize just how human our parents are, while also probing the dilemma of memory, showing us how the images we are presented are often not the people we are, but who we pretend to be. Check it out. Lessons from the Bayou. The truth hurts, but lies can kill. Lesson. Minor differences in point of views can lead to different interpretations of the same event. Perception is everything. Be careful how you judge. Lesson. Children should act invisible amongst adults. That way, they listen and learn more. Lesson. Ear hustling is rude, but even more offensive if done in sight.
It's private. If they'd have wanted you to hear, they'd have left the door open.
Lesson. While you're out there chasing them streets, don't lose what you have at home trying to get more. Remember, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. Lesson. Life gives you signs and warnings. Heed them and pay attention. Lesson. Kids should not participate in the conversation of adults. Lesson. Kids are early warning systems. They often see what they shouldn't, prematurely experience adult emotions, all with intense innocent insight. So please pay attention to your warning systems. Lesson. You can't save everybody, and past pain shouldn't stop forward progress. Check it out. When you see it, not only did this film have 3 generations of family, it featured 3 generations of acclaimed African American actresses. You heard me. The legendary Diane Carroll, Lynn Whitfield, an Emmy winner, and Journey Smollett. It was also written and directed by a black female who was pregnant at the time. This movie had a lot going for itself, not only all that feminine energy. It seemed as though Diane Carroll was almost passing the torch with her character as the one who teaches Eve the responsibility of her gift, being, be careful what you wish for you might just get it. The theme of this film rests on how the family thinks about their dad and how his actions are seen and remembered in different ways. Like Eve, we have to decide how to view her father. I'm still indifferent on if Eve's father assaulted his daughter or if they both just crossed the line. Even though tipsy, he should have been conscious enough or at least emotionally smarter than a 14-year-old. I mean, taking advantage of the power dynamic is perverted in itself. I just don't know though. Maybe her panties had blood in them from him popping her cherry, which led to her spending more time in the restroom. It could have been a period though. Maybe it was puberty making her go against her
I walked
mother.
all the way
Or
to Daddy's office.
maybe she was
And
jealous and
lied,
groomed by
Mama.
her dad. Maybe she couldn't stand to be around her parents any longer because they both smacked her. Or maybe she needed space because she felt unsafe, unprotected. For all we know, the precious love that we seen a father have for his oldest daughter could have been in sexual lust. In the extras, we'll talk more about it. Where I do empathize with Lewis is how he wanted to be a hero, what that meant, and where that led him. However, as Elzora said, sometimes heroes fall on their own sword. Like I said, that's them trappings of success. Lewis understands Eve sees him as that type of tragic hero. I mean, woe is the condition of man. Check it out. Keep in mind, while watching, the whole time this is a child perspective of an adult world. It's ambitious, eloquent, touching upon love, life, death, sex, family, and so much more. All of this is from the perspective of someone trying to understand the world around them. Something I couldn't ignore was how this film reminded me of the victimization of black girls who are barely or rarely protected the way other cultures shield their girls. Good thing she had a grandmother, mother, aunt, and sister to guide her. They kind of left the boy out though, low-key. Even though he seemed to be Ra's favorite, yeah. What Eve Bayou depicts is how memories are constantly reshaped by the events preceding them. Indicative, but not exclusive to the truth, but to a kind of personal narrative instead. The tagline for this movie is, "The secrets that hold us together can also tear us apart." The French version of the title translates to Secrets of the Bayou. What were those secrets? Well, Eve's father is a cheater. Eve's sister is a temptress to her own father. Eve's descendants are cursed or gifted. Eve is complacent in her father's death. And in the director's cut, the story is a little different. Eve's sister was a victim of a perverted father, and Eve's uncle Tommy, who was a mute that couldn't speak, witnessed how foul Lewis truly was. So, yeah, whoa. But this is when I remind you that I'm Fox. This is Check It Out. And if you haven't, please like, share, and subscribe so the big homie can survive. Before I forget, let me get to these extras. Samuel L. Jackson stepped up to produce this movie after Hollywood felt no one would watch it. In 2018, it was selected by the Library of Congress for preservation in the National Film Registry. Yes, Journey Smollett is Jesse Smollett's brother from Empire. You would be right if you thought it wasn't any white people in Eve's Bayou. That's simply because the director wanted to show black people live complicated lives that have nothing to do with white people. If you thought this wasn't a hood family, you would be wrong. They turn up, dress fly, throw parties, think color purple. They own the bayou, and Lewis, the patriarch, is always out banging thotties. I mean, they classy, but they hood. Voodoo or voodoo is a combination of African traditions mixed with Catholicism.
What
Catholicism, goddammit. I can't say it. Catholicism. Voodoo dolls come from Europe. Hollywood made them Haitian, which is probably why Elzora laughed at Eve when she mentioned them. In the director's cut, it's a whole character cut out from the story. A physically disabled mute that lives in the house named Uncle Tommy, the brother of Grand Marie. He would have been witness to things in the house no one else saw. He would have known the truth about Eve's father and sister's relationship. Knowing this makes me lean more to the side that Lewis, Eve's father, was actually grooming Cicely. And maybe even worse. Lemons, the director for this movie, also directed 2019's Harriet. I'm going out on a limb with this one. But there's something to the number 3 in this movie. Mozella had 3 husbands, the 3 snake scenes, 3 children, 3 appearances of Lenny. Something was up with that, you know what I mean? I couldn't quite put that together, but something was up with that. Also, what was the symbolism with Eve in front of the apples? Was that like the fall of man or something? Was she the metaphoric biblical snake offering forbidden knowledge to Lenny? I mean, you saw them apples in the background, right? What was that about? Like that whole imagery, Questions. Do you guys believe in voodoo? Was it Eve's father's own actions that led to his death, or Eve's conjuring? Do you think Eve's Bayou inspired Beyonce videos in some way? If 2 people remember something differently, what's the truth? Is reality nothing more than a memory? Was that too deep? I don't know. What do you all think of a part 2 to Eve's Bayou, where her little brother Poe learns he's gifted as well and vows revenge on Sicily for the lies that led to his father's death? Then Poe finds out that Eve has something to do with it, and Roz, their mother, tries to stop them both from casting spells on one another. Meanwhile, Mozella and Roz are falling out because Mozella continues to teach Eve more about the deeper dark arts of voodoo. I mean, it's just so much potential for good storytelling in the Bayou. I mean, I don't want it to end. Let me know of any lessons I missed in the comments. Whatever you do, don't forget to take care of yourself and choose wisely. Be cool out there, man.
Well,
I'm out. Thank you.
bye.
I thought I knew everything. Now even the things I'm most familiar with seem mysterious to me.